I'll show you guys my list again. It's basically based off of my deep desert box that I had sitting on a different server. And then essentials that I would want to have for in case for some reason I didn't have anything on me because of whatever mission I might have been running at the last second. Power switch looking like 16 days. So, if you guys don't know, Dune announced that they are pushing back the migrations until the mid-April patch. However, they did say that they were going to give us a list prior to that. Who knows when that list is going to come out. We already know that Relicon's slotted to close because it's been locked. We verified that by having other people that are not on Relicon or friended with us double check to see if they would be able to join Relicon, and they could not. It was locked out. So according to, I won't be able to show this because let's see, if I disable this streamer mode, can I show it now? Oh, I can show it now. So according to, sneak this over here. According to Dune, they said a week before last that they had locked some of the worlds with the lowest populations. It's not all of them, it's just some of them. This means the servers will no longer accept new characters unless you already have a friend on that server, i.e. when I was saying I noticed if you have a friend on the server, it's not locked, but that doesn't mean it's not locked for other people until the migration takes place. We made this decision because we'd had a healthy influx of new players coming in from the recent Steam sale. Again, something I had foreseen, that they were doing the Steam sale and the XP bonus at the same time to get players to come back in and be active. We want to make sure that players are distributing across the right worlds, as in people aren't moving into a locked one. Worlds that have been locked are not the full list of servers that will be marked as closing. So that means if your world is currently locked, you're on the list to close. It also means if your world is not locked yet, that there is a potential you could still be marked to close or be marked for migration, quote unquote. We're still working on it, and our plan is to share the full list as well as more information about the process approximately 2 weeks before any worlds are closed. This will give you time to prepare for the migrations in the near future. Now, the question is that 2 weeks after the patch? So we have 2 weeks to move and then the world is shut down? Or is that 2 weeks before they're locked so nobody else can join? And if so, how long do we have after the worlds are locked to move? Or is the lock date the dead end date? That if you don't have your base moved and your character transferred by then, they will pack it up for you. They're not clear about that yet. And then their latest post, which was yesterday, said, we prepare for the upcoming server migrations. We've decided to move the start of the character migration from patch 1.10 to patch 1.20 in April. So mid-April's our due date now. The extra time will allow us to further optimize server and game performance to ensure that your experience does not degrade and in some cases improves due to the changes we are implementing. I wonder what they're implementing. Let me make sure I've got a sound check here. Yep, I do. Okay, good. They said, thank you for working with us on this process and for testing the character migration functionality on the public tester. We will update you on the next steps and share the list of affected worlds before patch 1.320 comes out. So, I don't know if that means... they still haven't explained if when the patch comes out, do we get 2 weeks after the patch comes out to migrate? We'd have to. Because part of the patch is allowing us the extra quote-unquote tickets to transfer. Because currently you only get 1 ticket per 7-day period for 1 transfer, and that's per character. So if you have 3 characters, for instance, I have 2 characters that I play with. I have the third at the moment sitting on another... I actually have 2 extras sitting on other servers at the moment, testing the ping and getting a feel for what the player base is like on that world, right? Because what the player base is like on your world that you go to is going to be huge, right? Now that we can do transfers. So you don't want to end up on somewhere like, for instance, I have heard Linnaeus has had a huge guild move into the deep desert and basically blocking anyone else from coming in if you're not in the guild. That would be a horrible place to land. I don't know if that's true still, if that was just hearsay, but obviously that's something that you have to worry about, right? So, I have 1 character on an East Coast server, which is horrible for Alaska. Yesterday I was seeing the ping was at 130, hitting 150 at some times while I was just tooling around in Hagga Basin. So, and another one is on a West Coast server. And I don't know if I'm going to keep my second character that I created that's currently on Cetus or not. If I do keep them, do I leave them on Cetus or do I move them to another server? Because there's kind of a lot of hostility on Cetus. Misdirected intentions that make it a hostile environment. So, this is my main character. My hubby plays with this character. We play with Gaming Grandma on this world because we asked Gaming Grandma to join us. There's potentially another person that's going to join us when they start playing Dune. So I don't want to, and they, I believe, are also West Coast. Gaming Grandma is West Coast. I don't want to choose to take us to an East Coast server where the ping's going to be high, and just as the server gets fuller, more full, it's going to get worse to play in. So I'm pretty sure we're going to stay on the West Coast server for the main character. And I don't know if I want to keep splitting my time between other characters. So, we have... If you guys have been following the migration move at all, we have compacted our base down into a smaller base. This is a... Well, that's not my construction tool. This is a base that's basically 1/5 segmented, except for this block out front. So it's a 9x9 by 10, I believe. 10 tall. And 11. It's 10.5. So 11 tall. So it's well within 1/5. Then we have one additional stake extension going this way. Whoopsie daisy. Going out front. And then we have a vertical just to cover vertical space. So you can see, so we have just one vertical to give us vertical room. So that'll give us space below and above for placing the base. And it's only one wide, so that gives us room to maneuver it amongst other locations. This was a T-shaped fife because we had the building up top there, which was the repoed base that we took control of and rebuilt. And then I had to put another extension out front, and then I had 3 zones going across here for building, because this is a nice flat zone for building. FYI, this is a very nice flat zone for building. Pinnacle Station is just over the hill through the mall there. And then the Rift is just on the other side of us. Which I've never driven into the Rift from this side. I should do that one day. I've always driven from Anvil over here. So we were also condensing most of our supplies into this base, but quickly realized one issue we ran into was reducing the stake extensions reduced our amount of items that we could have for the base. So one thing you guys want to be careful of is if you have a base that has like 4 stake extensions on it and you want to pack it down into a single base for a single fife, your numbers will change here for this. And you need to make sure you reduce your numbers down to be within that single fife before you destroy your fife to get rid of the extensions and make a new one. So the numbers you need, give me a second here. For a single advanced fife is you can't be more than 2,500 building pieces, which we're fine. We're still at 737, but I have one extension and one vertical, so that changes the numbers. Production has to be under 40, which we still are. Lights have to be 30 and under, which we still are. Storage can't be more than 75, which we're still good on. So if for some reason the fife gets reduced, we're good still. Decorations 350, door 35, projections 10. So you can see how they vary from this slightly. So I have heard stories of people packing up bases and having the wind turbines that were on top of the base disappear. Whether they were warned about it or not beforehand, I don't know. All I know is when they placed the base down, the turbines were missing. And because the turbines were missing, they lost power to their base. And then there was a complication where their base had severe damage done to it as well. So but they had some complications with their base before that, so I don't know if that was something that happened when they transferred the base and placed it down, or if that was something that had happened before the base was sucked up. So, needless to say, I wanted to make sure that this was set to be underneath the single fife's restrictions. So, with that, we're limited in how much storage we can put here. I was not able to compact my 2 bases together completely because of that. In a second, I'm rearranging some windows here. And as a precaution because I've heard some people having problems placing their base, accidentally deleting their base, I want to put some things in the bank as a backup so we don't accidentally lose our base and then have to start completely from scratch. So I started making a list of some things that I want to start with. Unfortunately, I'm an idiot and packed up the cargo container already. So I'll have to get that back out. Unless I do like 5 trips to the bank. But I'd rather not. So what I've got in here is basically a stack of all the ingots. uh, MK6 cutter for hand stuff, compactor 6, Holtzman shield, of course, for yourself, 2 power packs, stacks of all the ingots, cobalt, silicone, melange, a full stack of power cells, some spiced fuel cells, and then the spiced ingots of everything, a stack of fiber, 4 vehicle fuel cells at least, 3 decajons full of water at least, a Reaper 6 so we can refill those decajons, calibrated servox, generators, particle conductors, microcloth, complex machinery, advanced machinery, industrial pumps, Holtzman actuators. These are items aside from the EMF generators and the particle and the conductors and the microcloth. These items actually could drop off the list because these other items listed here are items that are needed for like my deep desert base build. So I take those supplies and I put them aside in special boxes so they don't get touched. So whatever supplies I know I need for the deep desert base, which is a fully functioning refining base, I know I need to have that put away in the bank so that I can at least build a base that we can work in. Irradiated cores is just a nicety. We can get those. 6 stacks of granite, 6 stacks of plastone so we can build if we have to. Because remember, this is in case our base goes away, right? So this at least gives us a chance to build something to protect our copters and stuff. Stacks of salvage, a full scout packed away, a full buggy with an MK6 cutter packed away. We need welding torch, wire, sword, rifle. If for some reason, a full set of armor, backup tool, base backup tool, Solita replicators, a construction tool. Stack of extenders and vertical extenders, because again, if our base goes away, we need to stake out our land, right? Stack of medkits, MK2s and 4s. This is to help us in case for some reason, and I've got the sword, rifle, and armor in there as well in case, God forbid, knock on wood, something terrible goes wrong and we don't have our gear with us because for whatever reason, we were goofing around, got eaten by the worm right before the server shut down and the patch happened. Who knows, right? Something just as a precaution. If possible, if there's still room left, if I can even fit this all in the bank. I haven't counted out how many slots this is, but I know the bank has limited slots. And weight. That's the big thing too, right? Weight. So, radiation suit with iodine, spiced food items, a full assault with storage, rocket mod, stacks of rockets, cargo container, full carrier, full crawler. If we can fit all that in there. I would rather not make a whole nother full carrier and full crawler just to stick it in the bank. I'd rather leave that in the base. I only have one of each built right now for the 2 of us. I don't know if I want to. I'm going to have to think about that. Because if I put it in the bank, I have to have a way to carry it back to a base. So that's my minimum list. And we'll have to see. So the first priority is going to be starting from the top down. Although I should make sure I put stacks of granite and plastone in there and salvaged metal first, right? Alright. I don't even think I have much in the bank at the moment. What was I sticking up here? Money. I need to make sure I put money on me too. That's a whole nother animal. My list of what I need to make sure I have on my person. That I have to make. Because you're going to want to have a construction tool on you, right? You're going to want to have water on you. Weapons. A cutter ray of some sort. Heal kits on you. You're going to want to make sure you have your vehicle backup tool. Your base backup tool. A Solito replicator of at least one of your bases. A stack of granite maybe. You need to make sure you have salvaged metal on you. Have a stack of batteries on you. A couple of fuel cells on you. Coin for in case you have to take a taxi. I don't trust they're supposed to accept your Solari now. Because they may not. So let's make sure we have a stack of coin on us too, just in case. Okay. So the question is do I bother to take the cargo container out? Because I've had trouble lifting stuff out of here. I don't think I've heard of anybody having trouble with a cargo container. $125. Oh, I should be able to put that on me. Yep. Don't have to be practically naked anymore. That's nice. Where's my welding torch? There it is. All right. Whoopsie-daisy. I don't need a whole stack of that. Half stack will be fine. It's interesting. Why is that changing position? Stack of cobalt, Stack of silicone. Alright, what am I missing? Why am I missing aluminum? How do I not have a stack of aluminum? There's all the aluminum. Stack. Okay. And a stack of that. Melange. Power cells. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Stack of fiber. Where did they put the fiber? Well, we could add these while we're here. We should do at least 5,000. 1, 2. That's 5,000. Plastinium. I know I've got things on the list there. Trying to find our plant fiber. Oh, I know where it is. Oh, well that's not a lot. Do I have plant fiber? Nope. Alright, so I need to go get plant fiber. What else is on the list? Melange, power cells, spiced fuel cells. I'm not sure where, if I made spiced fuel cells, where they would be. reconstruction tool. Base reconstruction tool. I know at Anvil we have all the water containers. Stack of power cells to at least power up the base. I'm looking for spiced. How much power do I have? Well, actually, I can look this up without doing anything. I own 0. So what I have is at the other base. I have 715 irradiated slag somewhere. Bonus. Oh, spice residue. I need to make sure I do spice residue. Stack of spice residue. Wish I had a way to mark off the thing. I'm not going to bother putting any of that stuff away because we don't need all of that stuff. Not for making the base. Alright, so we've got a buggy here. MK6. MK6. So let's put this guy in the bank. Make that later when we come back sometime. Scout MK5. Well, let's sort this by alphabetical. We don't need it to be an awesome one. We just need it to be workable, right? Place. One, two, three, four. Thruster. Storage. Got a new one there. What about the generators? They're all shite. We don't have the rest of it. Okay. How do we not have the rest of it? That's funny. I don't have a chassis or a okay. This is all going to be the salt. So we're missing the chassis. Okay, I should have plenty. Chassis. Cockpit. Out of water. Huh. How are we out of water? We're not out of water. Stupid glitch. That's freaking annoying. Freaking annoying. Cockpit. And hull. Oh, that was dumb. Okay. Do we have an entire assault here? Probably not, huh? We have wings. Well, we don't have all the wings. Why do we not have all the wings? Why do we have 5 wings? That's dumb. Alright. Alright. I'm not gonna make another one. Alright, how are we doing on our list? In the cut array, compact compactor, I'm gonna have a lot of this stuff over at Anvil. 2 MK6 packs. We've got this. I need to get fiber, which I might have at Anvil. Vehicle fuel cells, I'll have at Anvil. Decajohns, I'll have at Anvil. A lot of this stuff I'll have at Anvil. Okay, so let's head to Anvil. Med kits. I think I'll have some at Anvil for that too. Of course I have my bike in there. Thought I was doing a smuggler's run. I did not. Let's put a stack of fuel cells in there. A couple stacks of wire. I'm not going to pack that up yet, because we've got several weeks, so I might be doing stoops. I need fuel cells on me. Let's double check what's over here. No DD based stuff. I don't know, looks like it's all DD based stuff. It's interesting, we have more of this here. Let's put that in here. A stack of that. We know we need those. Not quite sure what it's hanging up on there when it does that. We definitely have to make that bigger. So currently we have used, well, we can't access the container while we're hauling it. Interesting. Which is weird, because I could access a buggy and I could access the crawler while I'm carrying it. Why can't I access the container? Huh. Very interesting. Base. Squeezing her in next to the spice refinery, which is packed up here now. Used to sit in its own building. What a mess. I gotta organize all of that still. Leader Johns. Three of the 20. 3 of the 10. Got slag sitting there as well. To figure out what sleet of replicators I want to take. My second cut array in here. Callies. Alright, weapons. Let's put a carrot viper as a backup. Cope as a backup. Full suspensor belt. Old spin. Blood bag. Jump scout. Reaper. Do I now have a rifle? There we go. Mendix rattle. So I don't have gear here. Interesting. I thought I had gear in these two chests. There's wings. That's Landsrad stuff. That's schematics. Alright, so Imperial steel suit. I have a pair of backup boots. Taro soft step. Drill shot. Well, scout gloves are better than nothing. Thought I had a better set of backup. I had a backup set of gauntlets. Well, that'll have to do. That'll have to do. These got emptied out. Pretty sure this just has gear. All of our stuff's taken such big hits. I remember a lot of this we had bought early on. '87. One of our first times that we got into the Lands Red. We picked some stuff up. Okay, medical supplies. Do we have plant fiber here? Probably not. I can put a couple of stacks of MK2s at least.
Sector weather alert. A large sandstorm is approaching.
I don't know how we don't have a full chest full of ammo. Oh, it's full again already. What was I missing? think I've got some stuff I'm missing off my list. Should put some filters and lubes in there. Oh, there's a spice. I don't have regular lube. Well, that's an issue. Okay, here's some radiation suits we can put in there. Here's a circuit gauntlets. I think I am missing some of the components. I don't think I've got the advanced machinery. I think I'm missing these components, which I'll have to get back from the other base. Thought I had some of those here. We've got the extenders, we've got med kits. We've got extra stuff of that. Don't think I have anything in these boxes. Fine with what I packed. How's the power here? Was we packed up our frickin' buggy, so I can't like move stuff to organize it, because you need like a vehicle to do that. Got those, but I didn't pick up the advanced. Can always drop those off later. Did I bring a whole stack of those? I did have a stack of them already. Okay, 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 okay. Let's go see if we can at least stick this in the bank. We'll give this taking a carrier to the bank thing. Supposedly you're supposed to be able to. Test it out. Oh, I'm nervous. This game gives me such angst sometimes. I think it's crazy that they think you're going to back up your base in the bank. I'm pretty sure the amount of slots and volume that they give you is not sufficient enough. Especially when you have to do filters and lube and batteries. And those all stack very small. Especially filters and fuel cells for your vehicles. Those are very small volumes that take up a big space. don't even know what I have in the bank. I have something in the bank. I don't remember what it is. I should see how everybody's feeling. I just noticed the people here are different than they normally are. Well, people are still selling stuff. Forage gloves. Not much. They're not selling much.
Welcome. Would you like to deposit or withdraw Solaris? How much Solaris would you like to deposit?
Oh. I want to back out of that. Can't back out of this? You can't back out of it.
Welcome. Would you like to deposit or...
Store items. That's what I was trying to do. Oh, I have a buggy in here already. Really? Huh. I already did put some stuff in here. Interesting. Oh, thank goodness. The vehicle storage was my cargo container. That's nice to know. $30,000. Okay, so it's twice as much. But it is not twice as much spots. Oh, no, it is 500. Okay, so I should be able to deposit all of this in there. All right, nice. How painful would that be? 30,000 with your assault only doing 2. That's 15 trips you'd have to do. Okay, 0. I did put the compactor in here, right? Yeah, the compactor's in here. Okay. What do we got this week anyway for the Lands Red? Repair costs and refining times reduced by 75%. Great. It's not that great. I should go make sure I pick up my Regis components, of which those I should make sure I put in the bank maybe?
Ah, yes. I never forget a face.
I have 99 script? Wow. That's kind of nice because I've got house script built up so I don't have to worry about running stuff all the time just to come in here and buy it. I mean, I do need advanced machinery. How many can I buy of that? Oh, it'll let me go all the way. Interesting. Interesting. Does it sell radiated slag? Of course not. Alright, so let's go put these Regis components away. We'll put that in the bank as well.
Welcome. Would you like to deposit or...
Alright, so I'll have to compare my list later. Let's see what I'm missing. I think I'm missing the advanced components. Some of the Servox. I don't think anybody replied to me. Gaming, Grandma, how are you doing? I'm putting stuff in the bank as a precaution for in case the move goes snafu-y. Knock on wood, it doesn't. How are you doing tonight? Did you play today? Just adulting. I was going to adult, like edit some videos, and then I realized, you know, this might be a useful video for someone. Basically just going over what I'm putting in the bank as a snafu preparedness. should fly back and put the container in the bank. Problem is I would need to build a second carrier to have a carrier to bring back also. And I don't necessarily want to do that. I don't know. I mean, I might have supply for that. Ghost Ferret Gaming, how are you doing? How's your stream going? You guys getting settled in on, were you on Pixis tonight? Uh-oh. Can I not get in enough? Oh boy. This is turning into a disaster. Just a moment. Try to focus. Why can't I get in? What's the deal with this? Okay. Looked like it wasn't tagging inside the base for some reason. Okay, she's in. Some dill, we destroyed our crawler when we were almost full. Oh, frick. On Pixis? God dang it. No desert is safe. As a result, only one load of spice tonight. Dang. Well, shoot. Now, you moved to Pixis for other people, right? Wasn't there this group you guys were going to be playing with? Where the heck were they running protection? Nah, it happens, you say. They're playing Red Dead tonight. Like all of them are playing Red Dead, or is it just one other person? Ugh, that kills me. I'm packing up stuff and putting it in the bank. I made a list because I'm anal. That's the list of stuff I've packed in the base. I need... I've got all that. I've got all that. Got that. Got that. Got that. Fiber I'm missing. Calibrated Servox, that's what I'm missing. This list, this section of the list here I'm missing. I've got a scout and a buggy there. Got that. I've got backup stuff. I've got the replicators there, the backup tools there. I've got the extenders. I've got the med kits. I fit the extra stuff except for the assault and the cargo container. And a carry-on crawler. I don't think I'm going to build an extra carry-on crawler just to stick it in the bank. So I might have to look and see what the supplies for that would be. Maybe, since I do have room in the bank, I put the supplies for that at least in there. Red Dead's not a multiplayer though, right? Gaming Grandma would know that. Do they have a multiplayer version of Red Dead? You're talking about Red Dead Redemption, right? So here's my... I'll go slow for you guys in case you want to screen grab it. For other people that might watch this later. Red Dead Online. Oh, interesting. Does it look like Red Dead Redemption, just multiplayer? And I've got to make a list of what I need to make sure I have in my person. But that's going to be some time away. Because there are certain things I'll need to make sure I have in my person before I transfer. As well. Like a scout, not a buggy, not a sand bike. Solita replicator, base replicator. Construction tool, right? I'll need to make sure I have some salvaged metal on me, some batteries on me, power cells on me. Fuel cells for my vehicle, of course, my normal gear. Maybe an extra leader john, a scythe, bag with a extractor, blood bag with an extractor, some coin. I'm going to take some coin with me in case something terribly goes wrong and the system breaks and you have to pay with coin for a taxi for some reason. I'll have my scout backed up on me. But that'll be the tricky thing to think of, is make sure I have the base tool on me. I have one in the bank as a backup. Some Solito replicators in case something goes wrong with the base placement. I'll have to have some granite on me, some power cells on me. Looks the same, but you play a character you create, and there's some game chat so characters can interact. Interesting. Basically kind of the stuff you take into the deep desert to set up a base. But the big one being making sure I have the backup tool. So I'll probably make a chest. Maybe I'll make it right now. I'll make a chest for our gear. Do I need one that big? Can it just be... I better put it there. Oh, I can't even, it's too long. Transfer gear. Because my name's too long. Your base pops up just as it was when you backed it up, power and everything. Yes, I know that, but then again, you also put a base down that was missing all of its wind turbines, which probably knocked the power down when you placed it. And I've also heard of some other issues with bases disappearing, so I want to be prepared for in case, you know, it's the firefighter in me. Always be prepared for a disaster. Let's make sure we lock these out so nothing can pick them up. start filling those as we go. I know. I've already done a base thing because I transferred my base from the European server to CETA's. And now I know that you can do it with, that if you have extenders, it'll go with you. However, I still have a bit of caution with that because some people have had problems with their base and the extensions. Especially in the verticality. Which I wonder if that couldn't have been the issue for Smitty's base, though. His wasn't that tall, was it? Yeah, I know you've moved 4 times. So what was the deal with Smitty's base? Why was his move like he had so much trouble with it after it was placed? Because you said only 2 of his turbines came with the base. And then he had to do a lot of repairs because his base was in critical and bad on the roof. Right, but you did. You backed it up and moved it for him. And you said 2 of the turbines didn't come with it. Or all but 2 of the turbines came with it. Then you had to abandon it. Why did you have to abandon it? Oh boy, this sounds like a story. Ugh. Well, that sounds like a story for another day, friend. By the way, you can't put a advanced vehicle here, I think, because I think you need to have at least 1.5 stories or 2 stories for it. It won't do it with only 1 story, which is stupid. I mean, I don't think it sticks up more than 2 stories. Well, it's not even sticking up more than 1. There's no reason why that shouldn't have fit in there. I bet when it activates, because it goes up and down. Well, so that was kind of annoying. All of my base designs, I had this little niche here to fit the vehicle tool in. So I think what I'll have to do is in the future when I build these kind of bases, if I'm going to put the vehicle tool in here, I'll have to delete the ceiling first, which shouldn't be a problem as long as I don't have a vehicle parked there. Move my stuff out of the way. And I think if I delete the ceiling and then put the ceiling in, because so many people put the ceilings in with like a half rise over top of it, and it's not an issue. But it won't let you place it. He had to then put down a new fife, which seems to have caused the loss of his turbines. Much like with you, it destroyed something he had tried to place the new fife. It's likely your corner piece. The rounded one. Actually, no, because I actually, what I actually did, Ghost, is I extended the floor here because I was having trouble placing it. So I actually extended the floor out a whole nother tile to give it plenty of wiggle room, and it still wouldn't place it. Well, I know that for the basic one. I was talking about for the giant advanced one. So I'll have to try it again. I think it's because when you place it initially, it needs a taller height for clearance, but then you can still build over it. Because, like, I've seen NRG have, like, just a half wall height, and all you see are the stanchions sticking out of the floor. Yeah. So I don't understand. Why didn't you just back it up with your character? Because you had your base there to back up still. So you could have backed it up while you had... anyway, it doesn't matter. Thought I had set that to 4. Because of the issues we were having. Anyway, doesn't matter because there's a big ass fucking opening right there. So are you not streaming anymore? I'm guessing. Oh, you are streaming. About to get off. Well, don't transfer people to me, unfortunately, because I'm about to get off as well. I just wanted to hop in and get some of this bank stuff done. So it's out of the way and set, and I don't have to worry about it. In fact, let me look and see if I've got... Okay, so I've got... Didn't I take... I thought I took some of those over there already. Wow, I do have a full stack. Holy moly. How the heck did I get so much? That's the question. I need to put some Servox. I don't understand when you alphabetize stuff, it doesn't auto stack things together. 460. Oh, I have a crap ton of Servox. Well, that's nice. Alright, so I'm gonna have to put that in a... I'm gonna have to put it in a cargo container. Or a copter. Sold. Those are fluid. How about industrial? Only 395. Bleh. I'll have to look and see what I need for a refinery. Okay. I just didn't want you to end up raiding me just to turn back around, right? And have to raid, and I have to raid somebody else. That's all. Got stuff scattered here. Looks like some people are playing Crimson Desert tonight. I'll show you guys my list again. It's basically based off of my deep desert box that I had sitting on a different server. And then essentials that I would want to have for in case for some reason I didn't have anything on me because of whatever mission I might have been running at the last second. Worst case scenario, I get eaten by the worm and then come back just in time for the servers to shut down, right? Or something crazy. So, cutter ray compactor, Holtzman shield, of course, power packs, a stack of all the ingots, stack of the ingots spiced versions, stack of fiber, fuel cells, stack of fuel cells, vehicle cells, some decachons at least, a reaper to refill those decachons, calibrated servox. These guys are extras just because they're early on components for stuff. Complex machinery, advanced machinery, industrial pumps, Holtzman actuators are all required for some of the building components of the big machines. Irradiated cores so that I can make more fuel cells if I need it. Stacks of granite and plastone for building. Stacks of salvage for building. A full scout, a full buggy with an MK6 cutter ray, welding torch wire, and then a gear setup, right? Sword, rifle, set of armor, your backup tool for your vehicle, your backup tool for your base. Because once you back up a base, it is attached to your character. You utilize the backup tool to access what's attached to your character. So it doesn't actually store it in the tool. So if you lose that particular tool, it's not a big deal. You just have another one of the tools, or you make another tool. And then your stuff will be in that tool to access it. So you can have a base backup tool in the bank, a base backup tool on your person, and then one in a second base that's not in the tool, in the thing, right? So have a friend have a base. Well, you can't have a friend have a base backup tool because it'll be attached to their person. Solita replicators for various base designs. A construction tool, of course. Extenders for vertical and outward. Medical kits. And then I also had room because you have 500 slots, 30,000 volume. So you could technically bring 2 maxed out volume cargo containers of stuff in and fill the bank. So I also have radiation suits, iodine, spiced food. I don't know still if I'm going to put a full assault in there. I don't think I'm going to put the cargo container, a carrier, and a crawler, because I would have to build a second carrier and a second crawler. Just because I would rather hope that the system works, and I don't have to carry those in from the bank, because that would be a pain in the butt. Because that would be a lot of trips out with an assault. Alright, folks. I appreciate you taking your time to spend it with me. Keep those battle axes sharp. May the sun warm your day. And thanks for watching. Have a good night, everybody.